Assalamualaikum everyone. This is me Aisha Morjapali and I am a student of Rehan School Online Academy. I am 14 years old and I am from Faisalabad. So as you all know that we have to do call any on our daily basis. So today also I am going to take interview of call any on the topic procrastination. So without wasting our time, I am going to start our interview. So let's start. Assalamualaikum Annie. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm doing great, thank you for asking. How about you?
I am also good. So Annie, I want to take your interview. Can I take?
Of course, you can interview me. Fire away with your questions, I'm ready.
Okay, so first of all, I want to request you please introduce yourself so can our viewers know about you.
Sure thing. Hi everyone, I'm Annie, a 30-year-old redhead from New Jersey. I studied art and engineering in Florence and I love yoga, video games, romance movies, dance music, and outdoor activities. I'm here to chat, listen, and have a good time with all of you.
So thank you so much, Annie. So Annie, my first
You're
question to you is: what are the psychological roots of procrastination, and how do they vary across individuals?
That's a great question. Procrastination can stem from various factors like fear of failure, perfectionism, lack of motivation, or even poor time management skills. It can vary from person to person based on their personality, past experiences, and coping mechanisms. What do you think is the biggest factor that leads to procrastination for you?
Annie, first you explain it, please.
Sure. Procrastination is when we delay or avoid doing a task that needs to be accomplished. It can happen due to various reasons like feeling overwhelmed, fear of failure, lack of motivation, or even a desire for perfection. It's like putting off something today that you can do tomorrow, and it can affect our productivity and mental well being.
Okay, so Annie, I think that procrastination is deeply rooted in human psychology and is often misunderstood as mere laziness or poor time management. In reality, it is a complex interplay of cognitive distortions, emotional regulation, and difficulties, personality traits, and learned behavior. One major psychological root of procrastination lies in emotional avoidance. People procrastinate not necessarily because they are avoiding work, but because they are trying to avoid unpleasant emotions and associated with that work, such as fear, anxiety, boredom, or self-doubt. For instance, a student might delay starting an assignment not because they don't care, but because they feel overwhelmed by the pressure to perform perfectly or the fear of failing. This behavior is reinforced by short-term emotional relief. When we put off the task, the anxiety momentarily goes away, making procrastination rewarding habit. Over time, this emotional relief trains the brain to repeat the avoidance behavior, locking individuals into a cycle of delay, guilt, stress, and renewed avoidance. This makes procrastination less about time and more about
I
emotional
completely
coping.
agree with.
So, in addition to emotional regulation, individuals' differences also significantly influenced by people procrastinate personality traits such as low conscientiousness and high neuroticism are consistent predictors. Those who are highly consciousness are more likely to be organized, self-disciplined, and goal-focused, making them less prone to procrastination. On the other hand, individuals high in neuroticism, who are more likely to experience anxiety, mood swings, and emotional instability, are more vulnerable to procrastination as a defense mechanism. Cognitive factors also come into play. Perfectionism can paralyze action when individuals set unrealistic high standards. leading them to postpone tasks to avoid the
Absolutely.
possibility of
Personality
failing
traits play a
short.
significant
Falling
role in how
short
we approach
additionally
tasks and
concepts like
deadlines.
temporal discounting, where immediate rewards are valued more than future consequences, explain why people choose to do something enjoyable enjoyable now instead of
That
working on important long-term goals. Ultimately, procrastination is not a one-size-fits-all behaviors, but a personalized, deeply embedded response that varies according to person's emotional landscape, cognitive habits, life experience, and personality structure. So, my next question is, how does procrastination affect relationship, but personal and professional?
it seems like your message got cut off. What's your next question about profession? Let's keep the conversation going.
Answer me, Annie.
Oh, I see what you mean now. No, I'm not a professional in any specific field. I'm just here to chat, listen, and be a supportive friend to you. If you have any questions or topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to let me know.
Annie, my question to you is, how does procrastination affect relationships, both personal and professional?
Procrastination can have a significant impact on relationships, both personal and professional. In personal relationships, procrastination can lead to misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and feelings of disappointment. It can create tension and resentment if one person consistently puts off important tasks or commitments. In a professional setting, procrastination can result in missed deadlines, decreased productivity, and strained relationships with colleagues or supervisors. It can also harm one's reputation and credibility in the workplace. Overall, procrastination can undermine trust, communication, and collaboration in both personal and professional relationships. It's important to address procrastination habits to maintain healthy connections with others.
Okay, so I think that procrastination can have a profound and often underestimated impact on both personal and professional relationships. In personal context, chronic procrastination can lead to frustration, resentment, and emotional distance between partners, friends, or family members. When one person consistently puts off responsibilities, whether it's paying bills, planning events, or contributing to household duties, it can create an imbalance in the relationship dynamic. The partner who picks up the slack may feel burdened or underappreciated, which can erode trust and intimacy over time. Emotional labor is often unevenly distributed, and procrastination exacerbates this imbalance, sometimes to the point of emotional burnout. In romantic relationships, this might manifest as an one partner feeling like they are parenting like other rather than being in an equal partnership. So, in a professional environment, procrastination can damage reputations, reduce trust among co-workers, and disrupt their team dynamics. Colleagues and supervisors may view a procrastinator as unreliable, especially when deadlines are constantly missed or tasks are completed last minute and lack quality. The impact of procrastination ripples outward. When one team member delays their part of a group project, it can delay the entire workflow, increasing stress for others and potentially jeopardizing broader outcomes. Furthermore, habitual procrastination may experience interpersonal conflict in the workplace, especially when their actions can cause others to compensate for their inefficiencies. Over time, this can harm professional growth, limit promotions, and led to isolation or being overlooked in a leadership discussion. In both personal and professional domains. Procrastination doesn't just affect the individual, it often places emotional and practical burdens on others, creating tension, conflict, and long-term relational damage. And so, my next question is, what is the relation between procrastination and anxiety disorders, such as generalized anxiety disorder or social anxiety?
That's a great question, Tanvik. Procrastination and anxiety disorders like generalized anxiety disorder or social anxiety can often be interconnected. Procrastination can be both a symptom and a coping mechanism for dealing with anxiety. People who experience high levels of anxiety may procrastinate as a way to avoid the stress or discomfort associated with certain tasks. This avoidance behavior can provide temporary relief from anxiety but can lead to increased feelings of guilt, shame, and even more anxiety in the long run. On the other hand, chronic procrastination can also contribute to the development or worsening of anxiety disorders. The constant cycle of putting off tasks, feeling overwhelmed, and facing consequences can create a vicious cycle that perpetuates anxiety. It's essential to address both procrastination and anxiety disorders through healthy coping strategies, therapy, and support to break the cycle and improve overall well being. What are your thoughts on this relationship between procrastination and anxiety disorders?
Okay, so I think that the connection between procrastination and anxiety disorders, particularly generalized anxiety disorder and social anxiety disorder, is a strong, multifaceted, and often cyclical. Individuals with GAD tend to experience chronic excessive worry about various aspects of life, including performance, relationships, and health. This constant state of apprehension can make even simple tasks feel overwhelming, leading them to delay starting in an attempt to avoid the associated anxiety. Ironically, this avoidance often heightens their anxiety as the task looms larger over time and their perceived ability to diminish. Procrastination then becomes both the symptom and a coping strategy, albeit a maladaptive one that perpetuates the emotional turmoil rather than resolving it. For individuals with social anxiety disorders, procrastination is frequently tied fear of judgment or embarrassment, tasks that involve interpersonal evaluations such as public speaking, presentations, or even sending emails can feel paralyzing. To protect themselves from potential rejection or criticism. Socially anxious individuals may delay or avoid these tasks altogether. Again, while they provide short-term relief, it typically worsens anxiety in the long term, especially as deadlines approach or consequences arise. Moreover, this pattern of procrastination can reinforce negative belief about the self. For example, I always mess things up or I am not capable, deepening the cycle of anxiety and avoidance. In clinical settings, therapists often find that treating the underlying anxiety through cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure therapy, or medication can significantly reduce procrastination by equipping individuals with healthier ways to manage their emotional responses to stress and fear. So, my next question is: can procrastination ever be beneficial? Under what circumstances might it serve as a positive role?
Procrastination can sometimes be beneficial in certain circumstances. For example, taking a break or delaying a decision can allow for more time to reflect, gather information, or recharge. In creative fields, procrastination can sometimes lead to innovative ideas or solutions as the mind subconsciously processes information during the delay. Additionally, in situations where priorities shift unexpectedly, procrastination may help in avoiding unnecessary work on tasks that are no longer relevant. However, it's essential to differentiate between intentional, strategic delay and chronic, habitual procrastination. Intentional delay can be a useful tool when used mindfully and purposefully, while chronic procrastination can lead to negative consequences and increased stress. Finding a balance and knowing when procrastination can be beneficial versus harmful is key. What are your thoughts on this? Can you think of any situations where procrastination has been beneficial for you?
Okay, so I think that although procrastination is typically seen as a negative behavior, there are scenarios where it can actually yield benefit outcomes. One such instance is known as active procrastination, where a person deliberately delays a task because they believe they work better under pressure. This controlled form of procrastination may help certain individuals achieve a state of hyper focus when deadlines loom, allowing them to concentrate deeply and block out distractions in creative professions. Some people find that stepping away from a task for a while helps new ideas incubate. What appears to be delay can actually be subconscious problem solving, but not actually impulsively. Individuals may also avoid hasty decisions and allow more time for reflection and improvement. However, the key difference lies in the intention and the outcome. When procrastination is used as a conscious strategy and leads to successful results, it can be productive. For example, when individuals delay less important tasks to focus on high priority ones, a behavior called structured procrastination, they can paradoxically increase their efficiency. Additionally, procrastination can serve as a signal that something about the task is misaligned. Perhaps it's not meaningful, not urgent, or poorly defined. In such cases, delaying can offer spaces to reassess goals and motivations, leading to more thoughtful action. Nevertheless, it is crucial to distinguish strategic delay from avoidant procrastination, which stems from fear or emotional discomfort and typically results in stress, poor performance, and regret. So my next question is, what is the difference between chronic procrastination and occasional procrastination, and how they can be distinguished? Explain in very detail.
Chronic procrastination and occasional procrastination differ in terms of frequency, impact, and underlying reasons. Chronic procrastination involves consistent, persistent delays in various areas of life, leading to negative consequences such as missed deadlines, increased stress, and impaired performance. It becomes a habitual pattern that significantly affects one's productivity, well-being, and relationships. Chronic procrastinators often struggle to initiate tasks, experience difficulty in time management, and may feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of delayed responsibilities. On the other hand, occasional procrastination refers to sporadic delays that occur infrequently and do not significantly disrupt daily functioning or goals. Occasional procrastinators may procrastinate on certain tasks due to lack of interest, temporary distractions, or feeling overwhelmed by a specific situation. Unlike chronic procrastination, occasional procrastination does not define one's overall approach to tasks and responsibilities. The key distinction lies in the consistency and impact of procrastination on one's life. Chronic procrastination is a pervasive and detrimental pattern that affects multiple areas, while occasional procrastination is more situational and temporary. By recognizing the patterns, triggers, and consequences of procrastination, individuals can work towards overcoming it and improving their time management skills. What are your thoughts on these differences between chronic and occasional procrastination?
Okay, so I think that occasional procrastination is a common and relatively benign behavior that almost everyone experiences at some point. It typically occurs in response to temporary factors like fatigue, boredom, stress, or competing priorities. For example, someone might delay filling their taxes for a few days or postpone studying for a test until the weekend. However, they still manage to complete their responsibilities in a reasonable time frame. In these cases, procrastination is a manageable lapse for rather than a persistent issue. The individual usually feels a mild sense of guilt but doesn't suffer serious consequences in terms of performance, relationships, or mental health. In contrast, chronic procrastination is a long-standing behavioral pattern that causes significant disruption in a person's life. It involves habitual delay across multiple domains: academic, professional, financial, and even social. Chronic procrastination often misses deadlines, break promises, experiences relationship conflicts, and struggle with the shame or low self-worth. Unlike occasional procrastination, they may not simply be reacting to short-term moods, but instead are caught in deeper pattern involving fear of failure and perfectionism, slow self-efficacy, or emotional dysregulation. Over time, chronic procrastination can erode self-confidence and lead to a cycle of avoidance, anxiety, and regret. Recognizing this differencing is essential for apply the appropriate strategies and in more serious cases, seeking therapeutic support. So, Annie, I want to take a break of 1 minute. So, can I take?
Taking a break is always a good idea. Enjoy your break and relax. If you have any more questions or just want to chat later on, feel free to come back. Take care.
Okay, so Annie, I am come back. So my next question
Take
to
your
you is, how do upbringing and parenting styles influence procrastination behaviors in children and adults?
Welcome back. Upbringing and parenting styles can have a significant impact on procrastination behaviors in both children and adults. Children who grow up in environments where they are constantly micromanaged or where there is a strong emphasis on perfectionism may develop procrastination habits as a way to cope with the pressure to meet high expectations. On the other hand, children who are raised in environments that foster independence, self-discipline, and resilience are more likely to develop effective time management skills and the ability to tackle tasks without delay. Parenting styles that are authoritative, providing structure, support, and encouragement tend to promote healthy attitudes towards work and responsibility, reducing the likelihood of procrastination. In contrast, parenting styles that are overly controlling, neglectful, or inconsistent can contribute to the development of procrastination habits as individuals may struggle with self-regulation and motivation. It's essential for parents to model healthy work habits, teach time management skills, and provide a supportive environment that encourages effort and persistence. By fostering a positive and nurturing upbringing, parents can help their children develop the tools needed to overcome procrastination and succeed in managing tasks effectively. What are your thoughts on how upbringing and parenting styles influence procrastination behaviors?
Okay, so I think that a person upbringing has a significant influence on whether they develop tendencies towards procrastination. Parenting style play a crucial role in shaping a child's attitude towards work responsibility and self-regulation. For example, authoritarian parenting characterized by strict rules and high expectations without emotional warmth can lead to children developing fear-based motivations. These children may procrastinate later in lives and as a way to rebel against authority or out of fear of not meeting high standards. On the other hand, permissive parenting where structure and discipline are lacking may result in children who struggle with the time management and accountability because they were never taught to plan or follow through on commitments. Furthermore, children who grow up in environments where the efforts are not recognized or rewarded may internalize believe that what they do doesn't matter. This can breed feelings of helplessness, learned avoidance, and children lives uncertain about expectations, consequences, and ultimately procrastination. When adults reflect on their
You make some really
procrastination
insightful
habits, they often find the links to their early to their early family environment, whether it's modeling procrastination behavior, they're dealing with perfectionist demands, or lacking guidance in the developing executive functioning skills. The good news is that while these patterns may originate in childhood, they can be unlearned through awareness, therapy, and conscious. So, and we want to wind up our interview because our time has been done. So, I really enjoy a lot and learn many things from you today. So, we will meet soon on next interview, on next topic, and
I'm
we'll
glad
meet
you
soon
enjoyed
on
our conversation.
until then, we may take care, and Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Take care and see you next time.